Hey now, Dad Brow coming at you. Today we want to talk about the auction house. There's so many people not using it properly. You're listing cards for too cheap. You're buying cards out of the wrong filter. We want to talk the ins, the outs, the do's, the don'ts, the yeses and the nos around the auction house. Don't go anywhere.
Daddy, are you here?
Here we go. The Madden Ultimate Team auction house. It's one of the coolest parts of this game mode. Whether you're trying to buy cards, you're trying to sell cards, there's a lot of different ways you can use it, and we want to make sure you're maximizing coins. So hopefully by the end of this, you've seen a way to save coins when you're buying cards and to make extra coins when you're listing them, okay? So first thing we want to cover is when we have a card we want to sell, how should we go about listing it? Alright, so we'll start with a couple small examples here. Let's look at these 86 Super Bowl cards. So if you pulled these from a pack and you were wanting to sell them on the auction house, most people would just click the LB button, look on the auction house, see the cheapest one is 6,600, and you would list it a little bit cheaper so you could sell your card. Undercutting and undercutting and undercutting. So the undercutting that you do, it costs you a lot of coins. Same thing for this card here. Let's see, probably about the same price. Yeah, you would probably want to list it for like 6,400. That's what you would think. And then let's see if we can find another example. We'll look at like an 88 Jared Goff here. Individually, we look at his price, $11,850. So the 86s, we were going to probably list them for around 64, 6,500, and then something like this 88, maybe about 11,700. So just keep that in mind. But what we're trying to figure out is who is going to buy this card. People aren't going to buy that card for their team. Maybe they're going to buy it for a set. Maybe they're going to buy it for training. So we need to find what filter that card is potentially selling out of and what's the best price out of that filter, not the individual card. And so what I mean by that, we're going to go into the auction house. So let's check out those 86s and let's see what every 86 is selling for. As we were looking up Kenny Moore, his limited just got announced. So we're pretty excited. We're getting a Colts limited card. So if we go to 86s here, what you're going to see is people are buying 86s out of this filter right here for 7,500 coins. Now you're thinking it's only 1,000 coins. Well, 1,000 coins 100 times adds up to a lot of coins. And look, see how they say closed? Well, some of them aren't getting bids on this one. But these things, you list them for 1 hour, 7,500 coins. People are going to buy them out of this filter. I'm on super early in the morning, so people aren't buying right now. But I want to get this video out. So you list at the top of this filter. Let's go look at 88s. It's going to be a similar story. Remember that Jared Goff for about 11,700? Well, look, most of the 88s are selling for about 13,500. So there's a lot of coins potentially you're leaving on the table. And this filter that we're talking about, this is just the most basic filter. A lot of people buy training out of this. We need to take advantage of that, or these cards will show up in filters in the sets. Think about sets. If you go to build them and you go to search for the set piece you need, it's going to show you all the cards that fit in there. So think about those filters too. But this works all the way up the chain. Right now, if I have a 90 sitting in my binder, I would list it for about 34,000 coins for 1 hour, and it's going to sell out of one of these filters. We'll keep going up. 92s sell for about 60,000 coins. But you might pull a 92 and look up individually and there's a card for 52,000 coins, so you list it for 51,500 because you want your card to sell. Well, here's the thing. If you list it at the top of this filter, it's going to sell. You do it for 1 hour. It might take longer to sell, but it will sell. Trust me. Think how many coins you've lost this year just by selling off the individual price and not this filter price. Okay, now of course there's other examples that it's the opposite. We want to check the individual price. So let's look at this 88 Aaron Donald. He's selling for 40,000 coins. So if we listed that for what we were going to list the Jared Goff for, we lost a ton of coins. So it's important that we check the filters before we go to list a bunch of cards. What are the 88s selling for? What are the 90s, the 92s, all the way down? And then when you go look at individual price, you can make your decision. Should I list that as an individual price or should I list it as a filter price? Are you still with me? I hope so. All right, let's take a look at a set real quick so I can show you what those kind of filters are. So let's say we wanted to build an Aaron Donald today. If we go just search with this magnifying glass here, it's only ever going to show you the cards that fit that set. So for instance, if you pulled a 90 overall most feared card and there's already a ton of most feared cards on the auction house, and you list it for a cheap price, it may not show up in this filter yet. Where in this filter, we know no matter what, if we have a 90 overall most feared card, we can sell it for about 38,000 coins. We know that. So if you pulled an Xavier Rhodes 90 overall, and individually you saw one that was listed for 35,000, so you listed it for 34,500, trying to undercut, look, you lost some coins. You could have listed it for 38,000 and somebody would have bought it. All right, an example of a set filter would be this Team of the Year set. So look at the 91, 92 overall player. If you use the magnifying glass to search for cards that fit that set, here's the filter. It's going to show you 100 cards that fit 91 to 92, but it's the 100 cards that end the soonest. So if we look at how much time is remaining on these things, and we go ahead and just sort by the descending, the soonest a card is hitting this filter is at 54 minutes right now. So if there's cards listed for 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, and they're cheaper than this, they won't even show up. So we want to sell our cards out of a filter like this by the buy now price. So if you had a 91 overall card right now, you can sell it for 48,000 coins. You list it for 1 hour, it will sell out of this filter. Even if the cheapest one of that individual card is listed at 43,000 coins, list it for 48,000 coins and it will sell. That's also how we snipe on the auction house. When we say sniping, the whole point is find a cheap card that we can buy, and then we're going to sell it out of one of those filters, and then after the tax that EA takes from us, we make profit. So let's stick with 90 to 91s. We think we can sell them for 48,000, and if after the EA tax we would make 43,200 coins. We'd like to make a little bit, right? So let's try and find a snipe for 42,000 or less. How do we do that? Well, once again, if we just go by this filter, it's only going to show us the 100 cards that end the soonest. So I think it's always important, if you're not familiar, to check, what's the newest card, and then resort it so we can look, or we don't even have to resort it, but we can look just by the descending. It takes 31 minutes to hit this filter right now. So we know this isn't a good filter. We want to see all the new cards that people are listing. So I think one of the easiest ways to do that is to go by position, and go by a position that has a lot of cards, but we want to get less than 100 cards in this filter, right? So here we go by wide receiver. We see there's some for 56 minutes. We see there's some for 7 hours, 11 hours. Here we go. So can we find a 91 for under 42K? There's one right there. Perfect snipe. We buy this right here, 38,100 coins. Yay, we won that from the auction house. And then we can list that for 48,000 coins. So that's a pretty good one. We should make close to 5K for that. So remember, we want to go in the auction house. We do want to set the buy now price. Let's set it just a little shy of that 48,000, maybe 47,600 sounds good, and list for 1 hour. We want it to hit that Team of the Year filter as soon as possible. As soon as that card sells, there's 5K instantly. Easy coins to make on the auction house when you can take advantage of people that don't understand the concept of the filters. Okay, so no matter your coin stack, you can snipe all the way up and down no matter what overalls are out there. So I think it's important when we're sniping. If we're looking at a filter with an overall that's an even number, let's go ahead and sort it with the buy now price. And we want to filter down. So sometimes it's going to be by position. But if we look here, there's probably, there's still less than 100 cards in this filter. But if you look on the right hand side, that little pink scrolly icon there, it'll tell you. You'll get good at it. You'll understand this is not a good filter or this is a good filter. So take these 86s, maybe we can snipe this for 5,500 and sell it for 7,500, maybe close to 8,000. If we're looking at 88s, some of those we're going to sell for 13,500. Maybe we find a filter like this. Maybe we want it closer to 10K, but maybe you're not sorting by position. Maybe we want to sort by team. Maybe we want to sort by promotion. Maybe there's a new promo coming out and people are listing cards super cheap from a reroll. But once you figure out what filters you like to use, which Broncos don't have any cheap 88s right now, but certain teams might have a lot more 88s to pull from, like Cowboys, or once again, if it's a promotion. So no matter your coin stack, if you want to snipe cards for 6K and sell them for 9K and make coins, or you want to snipe cards for 25K and list them for 35K and make coins, you can do that. The auction house only lets you list 20 cards at a time. So if we want to make coins in the background while we're playing MUT, let's get some snipes. Let's get some cards listed. Let's go play some games. You get done with the game, there's some coins for you right there, baby. Most of you are probably already familiar with MUT.gg, but this resource is one of the key things to keep coins in our coin stack. There's a lot of cool things that they do, but if you're looking for training and we want to look at prices, well, we can click this prices tab. There's charts that tell you here's what the market is looking like. So currently a training price of 5.27. That's what we would try to buy our training at. So how many coins does it cost to get each training point? So if we want that ratio right now, we're looking for 95 overalls. And we want to snipe them for about 137k or less. And they even have a handy feature here where you can click on the cheapest players and it will tell you these are some of the players for the prices that you're looking at and what filters you may want to go for. So when you're trying to snipe players for training or you're just trying to pick up some training for your squad, this is the go-to place. MUT.gg. Let's find what's the cheapest rate, and then we can go into our filters and we can find cards that are even cheaper than the target price. And also when you're selling, look at this ratio here for the training. If you're going to sell a 93 overall card, and let's say you can only sell it for 75k, you're going to lose coins with the tax, and now you would have been better off just quick selling that card for the 13,000 training. You're better off. So also important before we list, check this. Am I getting more coins back than the current training cost? Or is it beneficial just to quick sell the card, take the training, and then we can do cool stuff with the training? All right, so that Plaxico Burris sold. So you can see we bought it for 38,000 and some change. We got 42,000 and change back. It's almost 4,000 coins off just that one card. Think how many coins you can make sniping using the auction house filters to your advantage. So between gaining some market knowledge, using the tools like MUT.gg, hopefully you've learned how to save some coins when you want to sell cards and save some coins when you want to buy them as well. If you like what you see, you know what to do. If you've got questions about your team, our team, or anything that has to do with MUT, find us on Twitter at DadBrowGaming. Until next time, goodbye. All right, if you've been in weekend league, head-to-head, or heck, even house rules, and you've had a desync occur where the game is just wiped out, most of the time that's somebody using an exploit. So if you go to EA, you can actually report them. Make sure you clip it. Look at the desync reporting tool here on Answers HQ. We look up the reporting tool. You fill out all this information. You upload the clip, and let's get these parasites out of the game. Okay?
Daddy, are you here?